Riley, I guess looking back to last year, Indiana had Zach Horton. Have they kind of showed you any film of Zach Horton as what they expect from you from a pass blocking and a run blocking standpoint?
Yeah, definitely that was a big part of my recruitment process, was watching a lot of his film. Obviously, we have a similar build and kind of similar play style, so that was a big draw. Coach Kane kind of told me, like, you fit this role really well, so yeah, that was definitely a big draw for me.
We'll stay on that with Colin, then go to Jared.
Tight end is obviously a hybrid of a blocker and receiver. Kind of, how do you see your game and fitting in with this offense?
I think obviously I used to play fullback back at Wisconsin, so I got kind of a little bit of that hard nose, like downhill mentality, like, a lot of gap scheme, a lot of power, all that kind of stuff. But then I feel like I have enough athleticism and enough wiggle to get open in the pass game and be a threat. People don't know, but I got a little bit of speed, so I feel like I'm a little bit of a deep threat.
All right, we'll stay on the right. Second row to Jared, then we'll go to Mike.
How much of Indiana did you pay attention to last year, and obviously their rise under Coach Signetti?
Obviously being part of the Big Ten last year, I was watching them all year long. We played them the year prior in 2023, lost to them, but so they were kind of like on my mind, and then also seeing them the next year with the turnaround and everything. That was a big draw when I was looking to come here, was what Sig did with this team in only 1 year. Obviously, having played them the year before, kind of like knowing what they were like then, and then like seeing 2024, it was a big difference, I thought. So I really liked it.
We'll go to your left of Mike, and then Zach.
You were a former walk-on at Wisconsin. When did you get put on scholarship? Spring 2023. And what was that moment like? Was it a surprise? Did you know what was coming? Take us through that process of earning a scholarship.
Yeah, so it was spring going into my senior year, and we just had a new coach, and so I just moved to tight end, and it called me up into my coach's office and didn't tell me anything. They just said, hey, like, coach needs to talk to you. So, I was kind of nervous, you know what I mean? Like, oh my gosh, like, am I going to be on the team tomorrow? You know what I mean? And so when I got there, like, he just like slid me a paper, which was almost even worse. I was like getting ready to like call my parents and everything. And, but then I looked at it, and it was a scholarship, and I was super excited. So I called my parents with the good news instead of that. So yeah, it was really sweet. Really sweet.
We'll stay left to Zach, and then go to Seth.
You talked about the receiving threat you think of, but I think we also saw you at a dinner recently with the quarterbacks and the offensive linemen. What's your relationship like with that line? You got a lot of veterans, kind of to work with there, and also with your quarterback in terms of maybe recognizing certain things pre-snap and just being, sort of multifaceted in the way you impact blocking.
Obviously, I feel like tight end is an extension of the O-line, so I really take a lot of pride in my relationship with my tackles, right? Because we're working with them all the time. So I like to make sure that I have a good relationship with the ones, the twos, even the threes. Like, just that when we're out there, we're communicating. Like, I know I can trust them and they can trust me. Like, if one of us gets a call wrong, we can correct each other and just like know who we're playing with and kind of like feel that connection, right? And then same with Nando. Like, after like a pass play or something, I drop a pass or like it's a throw that kind of misses. I'm gonna go up and talk to him and be like, hey Nando, what did you see? You know what I mean? Because I want to know like what he's thinking, and I want him to know what I'm thinking, so that we're on the same page all the time. Because obviously, I can't, when I'm running a route, I can't communicate with Nando. He's got to know what I'm thinking. I got to know what he's thinking.
We'll stay left to Seth, and then go to Daniel.
Yeah, within that time you spent around the O-line since you got in here, what was it like for you seeing Drew Evans recover from his injury the way he did and go through that whole rehab process, and just how challenging is that, I guess, to see a teammate like that go through that?
So Drew was actually at Wisconsin with me for a year prior to my time here, prior to his time here, and so I really liked him as a kid. He was a walk-on at Wisconsin, just a real gritty kid. Kind of had a rough time at Wisconsin. Just was a little bit injury prone there too. So when I heard last year that he got injured, I was really sad for him. Because he had been doing so well, but he's the type of guy to just put his head down and just get through anything. It's the kind of guy he is. Like, he's always gonna come in with a smile. He's always gonna work hard. So it's been great seeing him out there now. Like, I'm always talking to him and everything, just because we were former teammates, now we're back teammates again. So I love seeing him succeed.
We'll go Daniel, and then Pete.
As a blocker, you said you had this, hard mentality. When you're, approaching that contact point, what runs through the mind, the brain? Like, what are you trying to accomplish as you approach him, hit him?
Obviously, there's a technical aspect of it, but that's more pre-snap. Just trying to my footwork, my hand placement, all that stuff. But after the ball snap, it's just, hit that guy harder than he hits me and just run through him until can't run through him anymore. You know what I mean?
We'll stand up second row to Pete and then go to Joe.
Riley, I'm kind of curious, you've played multiple positions, I think maybe at one point, linebacker, fullback, tight end. You played multiple sports in high school, basketball, track. How much does all that has helped develop you? And would you recommend that other people, if they have the ability to do similarly multi-sport, multi-position approach?
Yeah, I mean, multi-sport for sure. Obviously, like just the different movements that you would incur in each sport, from basketball to football, and then like track or whatever it is, even baseball, hand coordination. Like it really, once you get to a certain level of athletics, like you need all the mobility, all the exposure to change the direction, to different movement patterns that you can get, because that's gonna be helpful. You can move better than somebody else, right? That's what brings you to the next level. Like if you can move better than some other guy, they're gonna pick you. So I think that's been a great asset. And then obviously same thing with a lot of positions. Like it's taught me a lot about the different ways that people approach things, different ways that I can approach things, right? So I can just kind of see, like, hey, when do I need to really go downhill hard? You know what I mean? Like, when do I need to use a little bit more finesse? Like, oh, what's the linebacker thinking here? Like, he's taking this drop. Like, where's the open zone gonna be? So I think like playing as many positions as you can. Obviously, like, you gotta kind of be focused in on what you want to do, but being like open to like changing positions or like filling a need somewhere, I think that's a great thing. Taking scout really seriously, because they move around a lot during scout. So taking advantage of every position you play during scout, I think is really big, just because it teaches you so much about the whole sport of football and really helps you understand the greater concept that we're trying to work.
Stand second row left to Joe and then go to Matt.
You've dealt with coaching changes before your time in Wisconsin. I mean, with that kind of experience, learning new systems, what stood out about making that change to Indiana with Signetti and the staff?
Yeah, I think it made that transition easier for me, just because I had just done it 2 years prior. So that definitely made it a little bit easier, but I think the staff did a great job of, just getting me into the playbook right away and like pushing that on us, and they were really helpful. I mean, when I first got here in winter, me, Grant Wilson, and Nando, we go up to the offices with the GAs every day and just go through install 1, and we'd go through that for 2 days, and we'd go through install 2, whatever. And so like the GAs and the coaches would always be stopping in, like helping, talking to us, and just like helping us work through it. Like as much as we wanted to put in, the coach were going to match that and put in the same effort.
We'll go third row on your right to Matt and then Jeff.
You mentioned that you noticed what Indiana did last year. Before you got here, Trey Weddick, and you mentioned Drew, that you wrote that at Wisconsin were here. Did you reach out to them at all? Did you talk to them? And if so, what was the feedback they gave you about their year under the new staff?
Yeah, talking to Trey was big. So I came on my visit here. I was able to talk to them a little bit. Obviously, they were game planning for Notre Dame, so it was kind of brief. But then after the Notre Dame game, I ended up talking to Trey a little bit longer about just what his time was like here and just kind of feeling out the program, right? Because it's tough to get a full feel for what a whole year at a program is going to be like in, just a matter of days or a matter of weeks that the transfer portal was open for. So that was a really big part, was asking Trey, like, kind of what the day-to-day life was like what the coaching style, a lot of coaches were, kind of what their mentality was about things, and because that's really what I was looking for a fit for me. So I would say Trey was a really big part of that, just kind of being open and honest about how they were running stuff here, and I really liked it.
All right, we'll go second row on your right to Jeff, and we'll wrap up with Sammy.
So 2 questions for me. First of all, take me through the process and the conversations associated with start a linebacker, then fullback, then tight end. How did it work, and sort of why the position changes?
So I started at outside linebacker. I was a walk-on, and I had 3 other kids in my class. One of them's in the NFL now. His name's Nick Herbig, so he's a really good pass rusher. So wasn't going to play above him, obviously. He's just clearly leaps and bounds better than me. And then the other 2 were bigger than me and just more built for the position for me. I was a little bit undersized for the position. And so I just do a lot of like indie work. I'd always be the offensive show guy, like stuff like that. So I do a really good job being an offensive show guy, because I was just trying to give my all the time. And then after a year and a half, we ended up having one of our fullbacks transferred. And so my coach recommended me because of the good job I've been doing in Indy to go play fullback. So I ended up playing fullback for then the next year and a half, and then Coach Chris got fired, and our new scheme was under Longo was air raid, so we didn't have a fullback anymore. So they were like, hey, like you can go play running back, or you can play tight end. Like, right, that's the two boats you kind of fit into. At the time, we had Braylon Allen at running back, and he's a better running back than I'll ever be. You know, I'm willing to admit that. And then we had a few other guys behind him, Ches, and just a bunch of guys that were way better running backs than I would have ever been. So I was just like, you know, I'm behind the curve, pretty good at blocking anyways. Like, let me just go to tight end. And then just kind of went from there, just worked my butt off and earned that scholarship, and then just kind of never looked back.
So the second one for me is this. The word is you really like blocking. I'm curious, is that true? If so, why? And why do you feel you're as good at it as you are?
Yeah, definitely. I think my love for blocking like initially came from like playing fullback. So like when it was linebacker, like it was a lot of thinking, a lot of processing. We had a very complicated defense with Coach Leonard as our DC. So I was like, you know, it was just like I was always like trying to figure something out. Then when they moved me to fullback, it was just like, hey, run at the end man on the line and just kick him out. You know what I mean? So it was just like, you know, it's what football's all about. You know what I mean? Like just run as fast as you can at somebody, kick him out. And like, you know, in the Big Ten, there's a lot less finesse players. You know what I mean? A lot of guys are just, you know, just gonna sit there and try and set the edge. So it's just kind of like me versus him. Like who's gonna be tougher? Who's gonna hit harder? And that's really kind of where I got that love for it. Was just like, hey, like it's mano a mano. Like let's just get to it. So I think that played a really big role in my love for it. And then once I got moved to tight end, like it was a little bit different style, but I still like that, you know, that kind of mindset of like, hey, I'm trying to dominate the man in front of me. You know what I mean? Like now I got to use my hands a little bit more and kind of get better at that. But like it's that same mentality of like, hey, like it's me versus man across from me, and I'm trying to dominate him, drive him back as far as I can.
Last one, second row on your right to Sammy.
Riley, has anything surprised you about coming to Indiana that you maybe didn't see coming or you didn't know about the school?
I like Sig a lot. I like Sig. You know, I think I wasn't sure about him. You know, just like seeing like everything in the media. You know what I mean? Like it's a little different than like he's an interesting character. So that was definitely something I was just like, you know, I don't know what he's gonna be like. You know, in person and like around the team and everything. But I really like him a lot. I like his mentality. I think like a big thing for me is he really takes care of the players. Obviously, you know, I've been in college for like, I don't know, 18, 19 years or something. So, you know, his body's hurting a little bit. But I mean, I would say this is the best I've felt since I was probably a sophomore or junior. So like, that's a really big thing for me is, I mean, between him and D.O., Coach Owens, like they really take care of you and make sure that your body's like, you know, as close to 100% at all times. And you're also building strength, building muscle, getting faster, getting quicker. But, you know, you're doing all that while still feeling fresh and feeling good.
Great. Thanks, Riley. Thanks, everybody.